The water is black, it moves fast and it moves cold, and you can hear it before you can see it. You stand at the edge of a riverbank, in the dark, in Kentucky, your feet are wet already. Your breath comes out in small white clouds because it is January and the air bites at your skin. Somewhere behind you, a dog barks, it is far off. But sound travels strange over water at night, and you cannot tell if it is close or not. And that not knowing is its own kind of fear. You look across the river Ohio. Free soil, they call it. It does not look far. It is less than a mile most places along this stretch, but a mile of moving water in the dark with your life on one side and something else entirely on the other is not a small distance. It is the whole distance there is. You are enslaved, you were born into it. The way your mother was, the way her mother was before her. You have worked fields you did not choose under a name someone else gave you for a life someone else claims to own. Tonight, you are running not alone, either. There are others beside you, huddled low, wrapped in whatever cloth kept out the worst of the cold. Someone is praying under their breath, someone else is silent, jaw tight, eyes fixed on the far bank like it might disappear if they blink. The Ohio River was one of the sharpest lines in the country in the 1800s. Cross it, and slavery was, on paper, illegal. Stay on the wrong side, and you remained property under the law. That single river carried more weight than any other in America. Thousands of people crossed it exactly the way you're about to, in the coldest months. Because in winter, it sometimes froze solid enough to walk across. And because darkness gave cover that daylight never could. You did not get here by luck alone, someone told you where to go, a word passed quietly between trusted hands, a lantern left in a particular window, a quilt pattern that meant safe house. Though historians still argue how much of that last part is legend and how much is real. What is not legend is the network itself. People called it the Underground Railroad, though it was neither underground nor a railroad. It was a chain of ordinary people, some free black communities, some white abolitionists, some Quakers, risking prison, fines, even their lives to move human beings from bondage toward freedom. One dark mile at a time, you feel the current pull at your legs as you step in. It is faster than it looked from the bank, cold like this. Does not just hurt. It steals your breath first, then your strength if you stay in too long. Someone beside you stumbles, a hand catches their arm before the water can take them. Nobody speaks. Speaking is a risk. Patrollers road these banks looking for exactly what you're doing right now, and a voice carries farther over water than you would think. Your heart is loud in your ears, louder than the river almost. Every splash feels like an accusation. Every shadow on the far bank could be a friend waiting to guide you in, or it could be a slave catcher with a rope and a badge that says the law is on his side. The Fugitive Slave Act of 1850 made that badge more dangerous than ever. It meant that even in a free state, you were not fully safe. Bounty hunters could drag you back south, and northern officials were legally required to help them do it. Freedom, once you reached that far bank, was not the end of the danger. It was the start of a different kind, but you keep moving, one foot then the next, through water that numbs your ankles, then your knees. Somewhere in your chest, there is a thought that does not leave. Turning back is not really an option. Turning back means the field you left, the person who called you property, the punishment for trying, so you go forward, because forward is the only direction that has any hope folded into it at all. The far bank gets closer, you can start to make out shapes now, trees, a shoreline, maybe a shape that is a person waiting. Though you cannot be sure yet if that shape is safety or danger. This is the moment that thousands of real people lived in towns like Ripley, Ohio, where a minister named John Rawlins Rankin kept a lantern burning in his window on the bluff above the river, a signal visible for miles telling people exactly like you that the house on the hill was safe. Historians estimate that Rankin's home alone helped guide over 2,000 people to freedom over the decades the network operated. You reach the shallows, your legs are shaking from cold, from exhaustion, from something closer to disbelief. The shape on the shore steps forward, a hand reaches out, and this time it is not to stop you. It is to help pull you up onto solid ground. No words yet, just breath, just the weight of your own body finally out of that water. It is not over. Freedom in 1850s, Ohio was not a finish line. It was a new set of risks, a new set of decisions about where to go next, who to trust, how far north was actually far enough. Some people kept moving all the way to Canada because even free states in America were not guaranteed safe under that new law. But for this one moment, standing dripping and shivering on solid Ohio mud, you are for the first time in your life not property, you are a person who crossed a river in the dark, because staying meant something worse than the risk of drowning. What this moment tells us is simple, and it is not really about geography at all. It is about how far people will go, how much cold water and fear and uncertainty they will walk straight into, when the alternative is a life without the right to their own body. It is about the quiet, dangerous kindness of strangers who lit lanterns in windows, who kept quilts on lines, who risked their own freedom for people they had never met. History remembers the river, it should remember the hands reaching out from the other side, just as clearly somewhere tonight, in a different kind of darkness, someone somewhere is still making a choice. Like that one, the river changes, the reasons for crossing do too. But the courage it takes to step into cold water towards something uncertain, just because staying still is worse, that has never really gone away.